Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Adventures with the Trendsetter. I'm so happy, and I say that a lot, but I really do mean it this time because I am beyond thankful for this young lady to be here with us. Her name is Nina Elle, guys. You guys can follow her on Twitter at Nina Elle XOXO. You can follow her on Instagram at Nina Cochina69. She's the MILF Performer of the Year of 2018 at the Urban X Awards. So excited for you for that. Nina Elle, how are you doing today?
I am so good. I'm excited to be here with you.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here with you as well. Guys, if you don't know, I actually ran into Nia. The first time I met her was not at Exotica, was not at AVN, though I probably passed you because that place is crazy. It was the first time in my
Yeah.
life that I went there last year in January. So I ran into her at Sapphire's, guys, on 39th, I believe. Yeah, it was 39th Street. And my goodness, what a great moment in terms of talking to her and getting to know her. And like I told you before, Nina, I so badly wanted to get you on. We're able to make this work because of your busy schedule. But just talking about that in terms of your story, like I mentioned to you before, it's just to me, it's such a great story. You know, when I did some research on you, trying to figure out stuff about you, because I don't want to be one of those people that want to ask the same questions like you get asked over and over again. You know, the traveling, you're born in Germany, pretty much military brat, traveling back and forth, going from place to place. I mean, do you think a lot of that kind of helped prepare you and mature you faster than what you thought you would be maybe growing up if you're just staying in one spot at one time?
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel like it kind of opened me up, made me a little bit more worldly, made me more comfortable with meeting people and even being on camera. Because I always had to get pushed out and start new schools and meet new friends. So I always kind of had to force myself to be more open, and I guess that kind of helped me. Sure.
So you said you grew up from passengers to scene in a very strict household. Do you think a lot of that kind of helped you so when you did have the ability to, do interviews or be on camera, or for example, I mean, you're a dental hygienist for a good amount of time, for 10 years,
Yeah.
right? So when you decided to, for example, do camming, that could be pretty, I mean, if you're not used to, doing stuff like that, it could be pretty new, kind of scary, like you mentioned before.
Right.
So did it take a process to happen, or was initially when you started doing it, it was like, oh my God, like I compare it to like the Wizard of Oz. Everything was black and white. Now, oh, color. This is a whole new world that I've come to
No,
realize.
actually, it was pretty scary when I first started camming. But I feel like it was an easy transition because when you shoot porn, you have the producers there, and
Yeah.
the crew, and your stuff's going to be put out for the world to see. But camming, it's a little bit more intimate, a little more one-on-one. So I think it was like an easier stepping stone for me. But yeah, sure, for the first 6, 7 months or so, I would get nervous being on cam. So even when I feature dance nowadays, I still get like nervous when I go out. Like every time I've been feature dancing for 4 years now, and I
Hmm.
still get nervous and I get anxiety. But I just push through it, just like back when I was a kid, and I changed school, and
What do you
you
think
know,
that Where do you think that comes from now? Do you think because so many people are staring at you and like kind of you feel like, oh, they're judging me in a sense?
of course, yeah, just like any normal human being, I'm not
Yeah.
superhuman. We'd be
You're
like,
not?
oh, what if they think I suck? What if I trip or fall? What if I do something embarrassing? And of course, I always have my own body imperfection hang-ups, like any human does. So if it's on cam or if I'm shooting porn, I'm always concerned if I look fat or if my butt looks good or, just little stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all kind of, at some point, more people than not, stare ourselves in the mirror and kind of our own worst enemy and judge ourselves pretty strict. But
Yeah, I've never watched my scenes at all. I don't watch them.
yeah, a majority of people that I've talked to, either they do because they want to see what they can improve on. Some actually do enjoy seeing themselves back on camera, and others just don't because they're just so highly critical of themselves. Do you think, in the sense, like, for example, like I said, I went to AVN for the first time in January, and then I went to Exotica for the first time ever back in November of last year. What's it like in terms of the atmosphere for you? Is it something in terms of, for example, you said you get nervous even when you get on stage. It's just part of human
Hmm.
nature. Do you still have those levels of anxiety, even though that your fans and people are supportive of you? When you get to those big settings, what's the reaction kind of like on your end? Is it more like anxiety? Is it more like a little bit overwhelming, or you just kind of enjoy the process from year to year?
It's definitely overwhelming for me. I'm usually in small groups. I don't like being around a lot of people, so I get anxiety because the hall's so big. There's so many
Yeah.
fans, and I mean, I love all my fans. They're amazing, but still, I get anxiety about around a lot of people, and sometimes I get a little overwhelmed, and I'm afraid I don't give everybody enough attention, or I give this guy a better hug than that guy, and then they'll get mad and they'll hate me forever because I'm making memories for them, at AVN and XBiz, and I just want to give them the best experience possible, and I don't want them to walk away and be like, "Damn, Nina Elle was a real bitch," but
But
not that I
again,
was a bitch. It's just sometimes I just get overwhelmed, and I'm like, ah.
I know sometimes you might have a good day, you might have a bad day. It's just like it's
Exactly.
human nature. So when it comes to that, what's your best way of mentally getting yourself prepared? Because something I think most people don't realize is it's one thing, if you're a fan, it's fantasy. Of course, you're
hmm
there. It's the excitement of seeing your favorite, adult film star. But for you, what's the stress level like in terms of? I can only imagine like how much clothes and things you have to pack and get ready and
Oh
prepared for
yeah,
this.
definitely.
A lot of people
I want
don't
to look
see
my
that.
best.
Yeah. I mean, I can't believe you wake up like this. And guys, what I'm saying is I'm actually seeing her on video. So if the video doesn't come out, know that I'm staring at Nina right now. And I could
I
just
actually
imagine
wake
you
up
wake
like
up.
this. I have no makeup on right now.
Exactly. You just wake up like this every single day.
I do. This is all me. Yeah, definitely. It's the preparation goes into it, especially for the AVN Awards. I start pretty much now already looking for dresses and outfits. And of course, you have to have a different outfit every day and
Hmm.
probably two, three outfits every day. So they have to be perfect and they have to fit right because you want to feel comfortable and confident in what you're wearing. You don't want to wear the same shit the next chick is wearing next door. So it has to be unique, it
Oh,
has to
yeah.
be different.
That would be
So
tacky.
yeah. It's like, hey, you got the, so it's that stress level, of
Well,
course.
yeah, of course. I mean, so much respect I have for you guys because when I was there, I was conducting interviews, and a lot of people were very fortunate and very nice to give me their time. But something I noticed, a lot of them in terms of what they were wearing. I mean, God bless you, Nina, for the footwear you guys wear. I mean, it looks nice, but it must be killer on your feet because you guys are standing on your feet all day for that convention.
Yeah, the first 2 years I would always wear heels and try to look cute in my heels, but I know it's the last, I don't know, well, I've been in for 6 years, so probably like the last 4 years, I said, fuck it, I'm just gonna wear J's. So you
Yes,
probably usually catch me wearing some J's.
exactly.
Because
Why
that's just
not?
me and I'm gonna be myself and I'm comfortable in it. And honestly, most of the time those shoes are more expensive than pretty much any heels that I wear. So
That is very true. That is very true. In terms of your career, talking about the length of how long you've been in it, does it feel like it's been that long, or is it kind of breezed by for you in a sense?
yeah, it's breezed by. It's crazy. Like I can't believe I've already been in this for 6 years. And I still get nervous, like I said, and I feel like there's still things I need to do and want to do that I haven't shot yet. Like I haven't shot a gangbang yet. I want to do that. And so there's still a lot of things, little avenues that I need to explore. But yeah, it's went by super quick. It's crazy.
Now, when you talk about those things you plan on shooting in the near future, right? I've had discussions with this, and I guess it differs for everybody, but I think the main reason is personal choice. Because, people talk about longevity. In any career, whether you're a sports
hmm
athlete, for example, your window of opportunity to make as much money as possible is very short. And in any
Right.
field, you want to kind of pace yourself because you don't want to burn yourself out too quickly. Do the same rules apply in your world in terms of you started off girl girl, then you basically just wanted to do that, and then you eventually decided to do boy girl, and you moved on to these other avenues. Was that more of a business model sense of what you were doing? Or it was more just because, hey, listen, I've done this so far, now I want to try this new type of thing, like you mentioned, gangbang.
Well, I feel like it's a little bit of both.
Hmm.
One, for the business side, because of course you shoot everything in your first year, you're going to be burnt out, and there's going to be nothing new for you to shoot. And of course, there's always like financial incentives for your first boy girl, your first gangbang, your first interracial. They always pay you a little bit more for that, so you kind of just want to pace yourself. And for me, I was lucky. I actually started as a solo and girl performer. So browsers, they really wanted to see me shoot boy girl, so they offered me a really lucrative contract, which I ended up taking. And if I wouldn't have paced myself and would have just said, yeah, I'm going in shooting boy girl, I would have never had that contract. Um, and
So,
even for Elegant Angel too, for my first EP, and Archangel contracted me. So
so like
yeah,
the,
so pacing yourself is important, and also because you have to feel comfortable with your level of what you're doing.
yeah,
It's kind of like crawling your way up to doing stuff.
taking baby steps, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yep.
the way you said it is kind of like, The Godfather made you an offer you couldn't refuse, basically.
Yeah, basically. I'm like, okay, sounds great. I mean, I like guys anyway, way more than girls. I like playing with girls, but to me, it's more like a novelty. It's more fun, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm into guys, so I'm like, of course, I'll do it.
No,
You
that's
know.
awesome. Something I always want to talk to you about too is that, something I've noticed more than not is when I was always a fan, but when I started kind of diving into this back of November, close to almost a year that I've been doing this,
Mhm.
I've noticed that, it's one thing about enjoying the fantasy aspect of it, but it's also the business aspect that we talked about before. Something I've noticed too is like maybe back, I was born in 1985, so I'm obviously in my 30s now, so I've seen things from VHS to DVD to Blu-ray. Then you see the personal websites of personal content.
Right.
Nowadays, you have obviously, everything's on the internet. They steal your shit basically and try to sell it for free, so nobody's paying for their porn. But what I've noticed too,
Yeah.
more people are starting to do things like their own content. I feel like that's like the
Mhm.
new, like it's just spiking up. Camming kind of starts picking itself up from what I noticed, and now everybody's shooting their own personal content. You think that's the new wave now, for example, to put more control back in the performer's hands like yourself, that now, hey, I control my stuff. I'm getting the benefits of it more than I'm splitting a share with a production company in a sense.
Oh, definitely, especially once you've built a name for yourself, but you have to be smart about it
Hmm.
because I've got like for my personal websites, I've gotten like fucked over pretty bad. So, first of all, nobody wants to subscribe just to one performer's site anymore because basically everything is free on the internet.
Yeah.
So, why are they just gonna, of course, you have my diehard fans that just love me so much and they'll subscribe to Nina Elle. But the era of us having our own websites, it's over. So there's like new little things, like I love OnlyFans.
Yes.
OnlyFans is great because I'm not committed to saying, okay, we're gonna meet here and we need someone, a camera guy, we need pictures, we're gonna shoot a whole scene.
Hmm.
And it's again, it's staged and everything. So on my OnlyFans, I really give my fans the real Nina. So everything on my OnlyFans is just like snippets of what I do in my personal life. So if I find myself, sucking dick or whatever, I'm like, okay, let's, and my partner's okay with it. We'll whip out the camera and take like little snippets here or there, or if we're fucking, we'll do a little bit of this. And we're not obligated to shoot a whole scene
Yeah.
or all that. And it's just more fun and it's more real to me. So that's actually really good. It's way easier, and it also gives like an avenue for my fans to like chat with me and message me directly on there, which is way cooler. And Dreamlover too. So I really like doing that because I can talk to my fans. They can call me. They can text me anytime.
Hmm.
It's more personal than just like here's a basic website.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that has to do with the fact that, guys, you might not know this, but Nina and I were going back and forth because, we're trying to figure out technology here, guys, and it's not an easy thing. We're trying to do a FaceTime, trying to do a Skype here to get this thing done. It's just amazing. So many avenues, like you talked about, where fans now can reach you. And kind of
Hmm.
get that personal one-on-one, whether you're feature dancing, that's one-on-one. If you're at a convention, that's one-on-one. But, when obviously it's not possible for them to see you or go to those events, they can do that too. Social media is so pivotal now in terms of, you've used it obviously to build your brand and build your name. It goes without saying now, if you want to be successful in anything, especially what I'm doing here, what I do on the side, which is another wrestling podcast, you have to use social media to your advantage. With that being said, though, with all the avenues there are to distribute your stuff, maybe similar to, when you meet fans over at, conventions, does become overwhelming because it seems like just so much to kind of adhere to. Obviously, you're putting out quality rather than quantity, but do you
All
find that
right.
sometimes you're scratching your head and pulling your hair like, oh my God, I got to do my Twitter, I got to do my Snapchat, I got to do all this.
Mhm.
Does it become like, I want to unplug for a minute, I want to have a life?
It's a lot. And then sometimes my fans, they get so mad because I don't answer them back. Well, I'm like,
Oh,
do you
yeah.
understand? I have so many social media platforms
Yeah,
and
Nina, I
on my,
sent you an email. How come you didn't respond to me, basically?
like, I don't have an assistant that which I should, Randy, which you met or spoke to.
Hmm.
Randy is my assistant, but he's busy running Society 15 and
Yeah.
he also helps Kendra. So he's got a lot on his plate and I just don't want to put all that on him. Hey, answer this, answer that. So uh, with that being said, guys, don't get mad. If I don't answer back right away, or if I don't answer back, I still love you guys, and I just didn't see it, or I just didn't have time to respond.
Do you,
Yeah.
do you find it from your experience that you've been in it, and something that I've noticed from the outsider looking in, right? When I go to these conventions or go to, for example, to see you feature dance, it seems like a lot of people, and maybe it's just human nature, have a hard time separating the fantasy from the reality aspect of it. Like
They do.
I see you on stage. Oh, it's great. It's Nina Elle, and then I see you and I talk to you, take a picture. It's great, but at the same time, there's a level there. Do you notice that in terms of like especially when you go to conventions, or especially, for example,
Hmm.
people get mad. Oh, you didn't respond to my text, you didn't respond to my email. It's like,
Right.
guys, you have to understand there's the world of the fantasy, and then there's the real world where, when you're not on your phone, you're just normal, everyday you.
I'm just Nina.
Yeah, you're just
Yeah, no,
Nina.
definitely, for sure. But that's, why I have the OnlyFans and the Dreamlover, because that's like an avenue for them. If they really have something important to say to me,
Hmm.
they can hit me up on Dreamlover and I'll answer them back pretty much right away. Unless it's like 3 in the morning and I'm sleeping, and then they'll text me back in the morning. But for urgent questions, or if they really feel like they can't go on in life anymore without letting me know something, there's Dreamlover. So.
Yeah, I'm sure some of those desperate messages you've gotten in 3 in the morning. Nina, say hi. Text me back, please. No, because I've
Nina,
seen it.
you there, honey? BB, please, BB.
Exactly. It's like honestly, it's I understand it, so I'm not here poking fun at it, but it's like you see the two sides and the two extremes. You see that the die-hard courts obviously love you, support you, very happy for you, as I am. I'm very happy for your success and everything you've gone. Although I met you a short time ago, still really happy to have engaged in that experience of just talking to you and getting to know you for a little bit. And now, obviously, talking to you here, so yay for me. So exactly right. And I mean, so many people wish they were sitting right here talking to you one on
Right.
one. Exactly. So suck it, guys. But do you feel yourself now with in sense of popularity? I mean, this is a career. Most people
Mhm.
sometimes go into it for the popularity. They want the fame, the glitz and glamour. You don't seem to be somebody like that. Obviously, you want to build your brand, but you don't come off to be somebody like that. So, how do you handle the situations where you do get noticed in public? Because I'm assuming a lot of people do notice you, and is that an
Yeah.
awkward experience?
It's kind of awkward still, because to me, in my eyes, I'm still Nina.
Yeah.
I'm just me myself. But I see how excited fans get to see me in public, and usually when I do run into them, I'm of course excited that they're my fan, and I give them a hug, and sometimes I'll take a picture with them. Except for when I'm with my family, then it gets
Yeah.
kind of weird, because I just like to keep them out of the spotlight and away
Hmm.
from all that, because what I do is what I do, and they didn't choose that life with me,
Yeah.
so
I
I kind
completely
of want to
agree.
keep them protected. Because, yeah, last time I was at my mom's house, the pizza delivery guy, he actually recognized me. And he got so excited. My mom was just like, oh my gosh. I mean, she knows what I do, but I just didn't really want to drag her in it. And I didn't really
Yeah.
want everybody knowing where she lives. And so that got kind of weird.
Yeah, it's an
But,
uncomfortable setting, basically. Yeah, but it also depends on the approach too. Like, if somebody desperately wanted to see you and talk to you, at least
mhm.
to be respectful of it in a manner that doesn't draw attention to anybody else, basically.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. That, or usually if I'm out and about, if you catch me like after like 11 or 12 at a bar and I'm cross-eyed and drunk, I usually don't like to take pictures because that just doesn't look
It doesn't look right.
like,
Yeah.
like I look on Twitter and I'm like, oh my God, I look fucked up. So
Or do you ever run across the fact that you didn't remember taking that picture?
yeah.
Yeah, I was like, when
Yeah.
was this?
Like, oh my God, what was this? Oh my God, oh, my crotch is showing, so.
God, but something that I've also noticed too in your timeline. I mean, you're very active on Twitter, so you're always. It seems like you're always on the go. You're always traveling. Obviously, you're always busy doing something. So that's why I thank you so much for your time, because I know you're doing stuff and you're setting time out here to speak to me. But you think maybe that military background where you were traveling back and forth kind of prepared you for a life of travel? Because in the sense, as busy as you are, and you're going, for example, to Miami, you're going to Las Vegas or back to Los Angeles or wherever the case might be, you've gotten used to the numbing feeling which it is to pack and pack up a suitcase and live out a suitcase for a while.
Yeah, definitely. And I actually get cabin fever after a while if I don't travel. Like if I go like 2, 3 months without traveling, which is rare, but maybe like during the holidays and stuff, I try to stay home more. And I'm kind of like, okay, I need to be on the go again. I think it's
Yeah.
just like inbred in me from a young age, from being an army brat. We always got up and went and traveled and moved somewhere else. So it's just so normal, natural for me. If I don't do it, I'm like, what the fuck? What's going on? What do I do with myself? Is my
No.
life over?
I know. I'm somewhat the same way. I mean, I do appreciate traveling. 3 weeks ago, I traveled to Chicago for a big wrestling event called All In, and actually bumped
Hmm.
into somebody that actually was on your timeline. The name guy
Oh,
Justin Roberts, who's a former ring
oh
announcer for
yeah. He's a
WWE.
friend of mine. He's a sweetheart.
Yeah, and I asked him how's Nina, because again at that point I only met you at one point. And he's like, she is a sweetheart, had the nicest things to say about you. So it's like,
Aw,
yeah,
thanks,
yeah,
Justin.
the
I
feeling.
bribed you for that, didn't I?
Yes, exactly. It's collecting right now, but and I'm not receiving any payment. I'm basically building you up. I'm not getting anything out of this either. I'm joking. I got your time. That's all that matters.
Yes.
Exactly. That's payment than more than enough, though. Nina,
Well, since we're talking about payment, I would like to plug this here.
actually, I was how funny how minds think alike. I was actually going to jump into that because I noticed on a lot of videos that you were sitting at a table, or when you were at that table, you weren't there. I guess you'd gone for a lunch break and stuff like that. So you're promoting this, guys, which is basically from the Porn Star series, the Porn Star Stroker by Elegant Angel.
Hmm.
Tell me about this in terms of now. This is just basically a replica just of your ass, though, right? Why didn't you go for the crotch one?
Well, I wanted the crotch, but I guess because I just started shooting anal around the time when this was made,
Oh, okay.
there was a higher demand for my ass at that time. And Elegant actually talked to the fans and answered emails to see what they wanted. They wanted
Okay.
my pussy or my ass, and everybody wanted my ass.
Really? Oh, wow. So this is basically done by popular demand.
Yeah, so this is what you guys wanted. So this you guys voted on my ass. But yeah, don't worry, my pussy is coming out soon.
Okay.
So this is the first batch. So hopefully by next summer you can have my pussy too. We did already mold my pussy. We molded my pussy and my ass. So it's already done. It just needs to be made. So
And people should really appreciate the fact of the process it takes that you had to go through in order to
yeah,
get
look
that
at
thing
this.
done. Exactly. I mean that's a great photo and all, but you know a photo of a photo could speak 1,000 words, but at the same time the internal feeling you had when all that stuff's on you must not be the most comfortable feeling in the world.
No, oh, it's so weird. It's like,
Oh,
oh,
flashbacks now. Nina's getting flashbacks now of the
it's so
horrible experience.
slinky. It's so cold, and then it got hard. And then, like, see how I have my legs up here? I
Hmm.
had to keep my legs up. So, and I had to stay like that for about 45 minutes to an hour. And my legs started like getting shaky. Like, it
Yeah, I
was
was about
like
to say.
really, it was really intense. I'm like, oh my God, I need to put my legs down. My legs are like killing me right now. So I remember that part being really
But wait,
painful.
wouldn't they prop you on those things where like women go to get checked by doctors, or for example, when you're pregnant? Why wouldn't they just prop your legs up like that, or it
Well,
would
they
just drip
did, but
down?
there was just like little still things, and I still have like my knees like
Oh
bent
yeah,
like this the whole time. And after 45 minutes, you're just like, wow, or I just want to put my legs down.
yeah.
So,
That must have been a really good stretch for you afterwards. Your hamstrings must have been so freaking loose by the time that was
oh my
done.
God, loose with the goose.
Loose. But again, that's it's amazing. How much is that going for online if people want to purchase it?
I think it's going for like 60
89?
or $70.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is, the
That's a
average
bargain.
price. And it comes like with a little phone stand here, so you can put your phone on there and you can watch my pornos while you stroke. So,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
It's very
so I'm
convenient,
excited.
very happy, and that's the thing too. And I wanted to ask you this question too. You know, we talked about how technology is advancing, right? And how like now a lot of it that I feel is, for you guys as performers, it's great to put the control back in your hands in terms of shooting your own
Mhm.
content. But again, it's always a hustle. It's like doing this and getting this done, and then doing appearances, and obviously doing these sex toys and stuff like that. But I've heard articles. I'm sure maybe you've read them too, in terms of like they're thinking about developing a sex robot. Do you think it's to the point
Yeah.
right now? Honestly, for example, I mean, you hear this a lot, Nina, and I've said this to your face before too, guys. So I'm not crushing on Nina right now. But you are obviously a very, very beautiful woman, and you're welcome. And it's true, you are very beautiful. But to me, you're more beautiful, internally because I love your personality. And that's why I love talking to you right now. But the thing is, with that being said, do you think most guys, from the male perspective, can be very intimidated coming to somebody like you? I've had discussions with people who are like, for example, relationship experts. Can confidence be taught, or is it something you're born with? Confidence is a huge thing, and most people just don't have
Yeah,
it.
they don't. Yeah.
Exactly. I've developed it. But a way to kind of, it feels like it's a cop out in a sense, because although, for example, you need something to get you off, like a Hitachi or a dildo, for example, and a guy now has a stroker rather than using his hand, Do you feel like now people might be a little bit too reliable on those sex toys in the sense that, oh, this can replace it now. So why would I have sex with Nina when I can have a whole body image of her and it's the same thing? It's not the same thing in a sense. You're losing that
It's
human
really
element.
not the same thing, yeah. And for me personally, I don't use toys at all. I
Hmm.
don't because I feel like it kind of like numbs you out, and I shoot so much.
Yeah.
And in my personal life, I have so much going on. There's no need for toys. Just kind of admit it, which is a good thing because I do
Yeah.
feel like you kind of get lost in all these gadgets and this and that. And I feel like sex still should be like organic. At the end of the day,
Well, not
it's one of
just well, not just sex. I mean, look at our phones, for example,
the,
right?
yeah,
I remember the days, Nina, if you gave me your phone number, I had to remember it. I had to
right.
use
I
my
don't know
brain.
anybody's phone number. If I
Exactly.
were in trouble, I'd be fucked because I can't remember Randy's, nobody's like
No, I remember a few numbers. I know that number to my house. I know my mom's, my dad's, my brother's. Those are like the basic ones, and
right.
911, obviously. But no, you're right. Like if I got your number and got your info, if I lost my phone, it's done. And it feels like
Hmm.
people are getting lazier than usual. Because I remember
Oh
the
yeah.
days where I had to go up and you need to change the channel. I had to turn the damn channel. That's how old I am to
Right.
change to
Yeah, I
change it.
remember that. I'm
Exactly.
with you.
You're with me there. So it's just amazing that technology, as great as it is, and it's why we have the ability to talk to one another like this,
Hmm.
unlike maybe 10 years ago, 5 years ago, it does actually seem to be a little bit more in terms of people are more consumed by it, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, definitely. Now you have like the where's my? I had it here.
Virtual reality?
The what's it called? The Oculus thing where you can watch the virtual reality
Yeah, yeah.
porn, and I shoot so much of that, so I feel like there's like a huge demand for that. So people actually buy this stuff and love it. And for me, I'd feel like it'd be cool to check out, but like every day, if a guy wants to jack off, like putting the apparatus on, putting it on his phone, finding
Exactly.
the right. It's just like a lot going on. Like, who really does that? For me, it's like, it's too much. But there's a market for it. So I guess somebody takes out the time to do that.
Yeah, there's a demand for it. I mean, like you look at the video game world, a lot of it's virtual reality, so that's a whole
Mhm.
new world that's being, attacked by the adult
Yeah,
film industry.
it's always changing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You've been part of some of the scenes too, like where like, Warcraft and stuff like that. That's really
Yeah.
popular.
Oh my God. Yeah, I just shot that. That was crazy. I mean, that combines the whole gaming geek stuff with the virtual reality and the whole fantasy. It was crazy. It was actually a really hard scene to shoot because I had the whole like headgear on.
Hmm.
So it's trying to give like a blow job and you have to like stay right in the camera angle and it was like falling and I was sweating and there was a lot of like sweat that went into that scene.
Yeah, if
But I
people knew how much blood, sweat, and tears you guys put into the scenes to make them look nice. I mean, my thing is, if you look at a scene and it looks so natural, so authentic, there's probably a lot of work that went into doing it. Or whether the
Mhm.
two individuals had natural chemistry to begin with, or just there was just a lot of work that was put into making that work and making it successful. So I don't think you guys get
Right.
enough credit for that, basically.
Absolutely, yeah. And sometimes we get stuck with people that we don't really have chemistry with, which is normal. And
Hmm.
they're like, okay, here you go, now shoot, now make magic. And you're like, you're trying to figure out, how to make it look good. And so I really just try to learn to tend to only shoot with performers that I know I'm comfortable with and have chemistry with, because it just doesn't work sometimes.
Hey, something I wanted to ask you. Speaking of performers, right? I mean, I'm sure
Hmm.
every guy always says, "Hey, I could do that," or "It's easy for me. I would love to be your porn
Yeah.
star," especially a male porn star, right? Because
Oh,
they
it's
think,
so
"Oh,
hard to be a male porn
yeah, I'm just
star.
having sex." And I've interviewed several male talent. One particularly jumps in my head, Ryan Driller, really nice
Hmm.
guy. Kind of told me the ins and outs in terms of what it takes. But let me ask you a question. I mean, you've built up your brand to be a certain level of quality, right? Now, for example,
Right.
let's use me as an example, right? And I've used this with several guys I've spoken to too. Say I'm starting out in the business. I'm not going to ask you how
Hmm.
I get in. I'm going to ask you, though, what do you think male performers have to do in order to get their names out there so that I would have the ability of working with high top rated talent like yourself? Is it more word of
Well,
mouth? Is it more production companies reach out to you? How do you think that works from your standpoint when you have to work with maybe a new guy?
okay, so first of all, I'm gonna look what agent you're with. Like if you're with a bullshit agency,
Hmm.
like a lower level agency, which I know you're gonna be doing lower level shoots and lower level work.
Yeah.
Or if you're like with a good agent that I know that you're taken care of and you're doing higher level shoots. So first of all, your agent. Second of all, your track record. If you can stay hard on set or not,
Yeah.
because The day of the fluffers are gone. There is no such thing as fluffers anymore. It's all on us. And I'm not going to want to do any extra work because
Yeah.
honestly, not to sound like a bitch, but I'm already working pretty hard for what I get paid for, you know? And if
Yeah.
you want porn, I'm not there to be your mommy and help you on the side for like ever. Of course, you know, I'll give them a hand and get them going. But
Yeah.
if we're going for like 15 minutes and you're still struggling, like I can't go beyond that, you know? So I'm not going to, yeah.
No, no, I get you. I get you. I mean, a lot of that. What's the etiquette like in terms of that? Because I've spoken to some talent. They're like, and that's kind of something, for example, in wrestling, where the thing in wrestling is that if you're a new young talent like myself, I'm jumping in the locker room for the first time. I'm shaking everybody's hand. I'm showing that level of respect. It's professionalism,
Right.
basically. And in your sense, do you like talking, chatting? I mean, clearly now you're working with people you have chemistry with and you've worked before in the past. You know what you like, what he likes, vice versa. But if you're
Right.
working with a newbie, is it better that they come up to you and say, "Hey, Nina, how are you? My name is Brian. How are you? I'd like to just introduce myself," and then let it be and let you approach me? What's that type of etiquette like for you? What do you view
Oh,
as
yeah,
respectful?
definitely. Yeah, just say, hey, you know, my name is Brian. Nice to meet you. Okay, cool. Let's have a good scene and go on about your business. I can't stand guys that are like overbearing or want to be all like touchy, feely before the scene or,
Yeah.
you know, overly like, bruh, like chill. Like I'm professional. This is my job.
But would
When
it make
when the
sense?
cameras aren't rolling, I'm unless for some reason like maybe once or twice it happened, but I ended up like dating the guy for a while. Like we're
Yeah.
really into each other. Then
Mm.
that's fine. But like on every set with every guy you meet, it's not gonna happen.
No, no, but would
So
it make
when they
sense for
come over
somebody like?
creepy,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
if they come over creepy and too touchy feely, that like annoys me already, and then the scene is already pretty much shot, you know.
Yeah, yeah, I
So
gotcha.
yeah, if they're cool and just chill and respectful, I'm like, okay, well that's cool. This dude seems nice. He's respectful. You
Hmm.
know, he's got his shit together. Let's do this.
Would it make more sense for a talent like myself to come up to you and say, "Hey, Nina, what are your do's and don'ts? Like, what do you like, what don't you like?" Or is that more, we'll deal with that as the scene happens?
As I'm working like with a new performer, yeah, I appreciate when they ask,
Yeah,
you know, because I don't want to get into the scene and then something weird happens and it throws him off or it throws me off because, you know, once the cameras are rolling, yeah, you can cut and go back, but it's kind of a hassle and then it's already, you know, the mood is already kind of weird. So if we get that out of the way in the beginning and we know where we're at with each other, then it just makes things a lot easier.
definitely, definitely. Professionalism, I hear, goes a long way in whatever field you're doing in any type of business.
Yeah,
Professionalism is key, and respect
for
too.
sure.
They go hand in
Yeah.
hand. Nina, real quick, I know all these awards are coming up. Exotica's coming up. AVN's
Hmm.
coming up. You obviously won MILF Performer of the Year. Congratulations again on the Urban X Awards. How do you like those award ceremonies and the way they're set up? Is it at this point in your career? I mean, granted, it's nice to be honored, nice to be recognized by your fellow
Right.
performers, but in all honesty, is it something that it makes or breaks your day, or is it just more of just enjoying the festivities amongst your fellow performers?
I think it's just really enjoying the festivities. And of course, I do appreciate when my work gets recognized
Hmm.
because I do work hard over the years. I mean, I put in sweat and guts and, you know, and I put it
Yeah.
all into my scene. So when AVN or XBiz are like, oh, you know, she did really good. We enjoyed her scenes. Let's give her nominations. That just, it means a lot to me. So I really appreciate that too. And I make an effort to go to the shows and, you know, get a dress and show up
Get all dolled up, basically.
all dolled up. Yeah. So
Exactly.
I mean, honestly, I do get mad if there's like award shows where I'm like not nominated for anything. I'm like, God, well, thanks for nothing. You know, thanks for not recognizing my fucking work. You know, even if I don't win, if I get a nomination, that's cool. That means, you know, they respect and they recognize my work.
Now, believe it or not, we're almost close to the end of 2018. 2019 will be right around the corner. It just goes by so fast, especially for me as I get older, it goes by fast. In your mind right now, granted you're focused on what you're doing now, is there an end game in mind? Because the hustle is real, but at the same time, as much as you enjoy performing and doing what you're doing, is there an end goal in terms of there's a certain point where I kind of want to stop doing this because say there's a 5-year plan, I want to be doing this, and if I do decide to perform on camera, I'll do it from time to time.
Right. Yeah, of course I'm thinking about that. And it's honestly, it's a scary thing because we don't have a retirement or a 401k. And so it gets scary, but I'm constantly thinking about it. I'm just trying to figure out what it is that I would want to do and be happy with afterwards. If it's shooting my own porn or being an owner of a agency, a porn agency, or maybe a feature dance agency. So I'm kind of dabbling in all that right now.
When it comes to your work, what do you prefer more? I mean, there are obviously so many genres of the adult film industry. Some people say they like the artistic side of it. Some people say they just like the straight up do the scene in 2 hours and get out. Is anyone you prefer, or just changes from time to time?
It changes from time to time. Sometimes I do feel kind of artsy, and I'm like, okay, let's shoot a feature. But overall, I kind of like the gonzo type, the
Hmm.
straightforward gonzo, because you can just go balls to the wall and just be yourself. Sometimes I feel like if it's too scripted or too acted, I'm getting out of my element and it's not really me who I am anymore. And of course, I'm an actor, but I want to give my fans Nina Elle and not what Brazzers wants me to be or
Yeah.
Naughty wants me to be, you know?
No, that's true. Speaking of that, though, the reason why I bring that up is because I know you love those horror films and those scary flicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, for example, I look at those too and I enjoy them myself. But before I started this to speak with you, I was thinking to myself, it's something I want to bring up to Nina, but I can't remember the last movie I saw that freaked the crap out of me that I couldn't go to sleep at night. It was like so long ago. The last one I can remember was Nightmare on Elm Street with Freddy Krueger. What was the last one you can remember that just scared you? You couldn't sleep at night. You had to sleep with the light on.
I actually don't really get scared. I haven't got scared in a long time. I'll even go to Halloween Horror Nights and I'm not screaming. Like, I don't know what it is. I'm just interested by it. I'm intrigued by it, not really as much scared.
Okay.
But I did watch a really good one. It was called Ritual, and it was on Netflix. It was really good. I actually really enjoyed it. It was really cool. Like the graphics were cool. It was like this weird tree creature that was like a goat, and it was like about satanic rituals and stuff like that. So yeah, I really like that one. That was like the last one that I can remember. That was like, damn, that was cool.
Nina, I enjoy always talking to you because you always have a smile on your face. So it leads me to this question I wanted to ask you, and everybody answers it differently. With this industry, there obviously comes scrutiny, but in the
Mhm.
reality too, and you were talking about how you still sometimes get nervous on things. You can't always please everybody, and that becomes a reality that we all either figure out or we still struggle with. That you can't please everybody. Everybody's gonna be mad at you, regardless of how nice of a person
Right.
you are. So when you do see that negativity, what's your best way of coping with all that? Because as positive as social media is, and as close as people can get to talking to you and getting to know you on a one-on-one basis, sometimes a lot of people feel entitled. Like, for example, you're not answering my emails, you're not answering my text. Oh, you're this, you're that, and now just there's so much hate. The reason why I bring it up is because obviously, at the beginning of January, we had a lot of unfortunate passings in the industry, and that was really disheartening to see and to be around. But it seems like the community really gathered around each other. For you, how do you cope with all that? Because negativity is around no matter what we are. We're all human, right? How do you cope
Yeah.
with it?
Honestly, I just tune out.
Nice.
I,
Most people
if I
can't
see
do that.
something, yeah, if I see something on social media that pisses me off, I block them and then I just stay away from social media for a while. I go do something else, like I go hike or go shopping or spend time with people that I really care about, and that's about it. I understand that social media for me, yeah, it's a good avenue for advertising and interacting with my fans,
Hmm.
but in the end of the day, it's not my life and it's not everything to me. And I've gotten like in a couple like social media quarrels, but
Yeah.
I kind of just try to stay away from that because that's not for me what social media is for. For me, it's like I said, for my fans and for advertising. And my fans don't want it. Or maybe some do. Maybe some like the drama and the excitement, of Twitter wars. But that's really not what I use my social media for.
Yeah, people really want that attention sometimes, whether it's positive or negative. They
They
crave it.
do, yeah.
They just want it.
Sometimes they want attention just for my clout, for my name. They want to
Mm,
just use my name and argue and want me to at them and but I'm like, I'm not gonna play into that. I'm over it.
that's
It's
good.
not
It's good for
it's not
you.
that serious.
Yeah, of course, I completely agree with you. And it took me a while to figure that out. I'm glad that you deal with it the same way that I do. But again, obviously I don't have enough or notoriety as you do, of course. But obviously like I mentioned, you're very beautiful, but you also keep yourself in great shape too, which
I
isn't an easy
try.
thing. Yeah. Well, you try. That's an effort. I mean, at least you're trying. Most people don't even want to get out of their couch and do something. So at least you're ahead of the game that way. Do you feel an added sense of pressure with body image being the way it is right now? We're all our own worst enemy. Do you feel such pressure of maintaining a certain look for your fans, or is it more maintaining just a certain health for yourself?
Of course, I always like to be healthy, and I've always, even before, I shot porn, I've always been healthy and like to work out, which really helps. But
Yeah.
sometimes it does get tiring because you do have to like maintain a certain weight and a certain look because first of all, it's in your contract with your agent.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, second of all, if you do gain a little weight, then you might not get as many scenes or get booked as much because it's just not the look that they want. So there's always like pressure to, not gain weight and to eat right and be healthy, which is a good thing. It keeps me in line, but it does get annoying sometimes. I went through this phase. I went through a really bad breakup and I kind of like had a meltdown. So I just went, I took my nails off. I used to have really long nails. So I just chopped my nails off. I took my Monroe piercing out. I had chopped my hair off, so because I'm like, I just don't want anything to do with that anymore. And I
Yeah.
just like, I freed myself from all the visual stuff and it felt really good. But yeah, starting to put myself back together. I got my hair back and
Well, do you like it this way? I mean, do you like the longer nails? Do you like the short nails? I mean, it all depends on a certain
short
look for you.
nails. I kind of, it was just initially I was like, I'm just gonna take them off, fuck it.
Yeah.
But I found myself that I really like it because I can pay for things that they, with the ATM, pull the card back out without saying like, help, can somebody my card stuck. That and I can like grab on balls. I like grabbing balls.
There you go. There you go. Multitasker there. That's what you are.
Yeah.
Um, and there's that smile again, folks. Only if you could see what I'm looking at right now, you would be smiling too. Two more last ones for me and let you go. And thank you so much. You spoke about, dealing with the pressures of obviously either maintaining body image or, for example, your brand and how important that is to you and building it up. And I cover professional wrestling a lot, and so I talk about it. And that's nowadays it's not so much, back maybe 10, 15 years ago, it's a very cutthroat business. Where like
Mm-hmm.
if you and I are competing for a certain level, obviously if you're a guy or a girl, I'm going to push you out of the way, do whatever I can to make sure that I get the spot and you don't. I don't think that's that way anymore. I've spoken to a couple of female talent and male talent about this, but would you say the main avenue of competition is really more just within yourself, or do you notice other things around you to kind of be like, I gotta step ahead of the game because this is the new thing that I gotta be on top of?
No, I think there is definitely. You always got to be on top of it. And there's always new, younger, prettier girls coming
Oh,
in.
stop it. Okay, I've been
No,
nice to you.
it's true.
I've been
It's
nice
true.
to you to this point, but I will not have you on my show say there are prettier girls than you. How dare you, Nina Elle,
It's
talk to
true.
the
There's always like
trendsetter
nowadays.
this
I
way?
feel like there's so many new girls and new people coming in,
Mhm.
and as a MILF, you're just a MILF. You don't really go anywhere else, or So there's really a small basket of MILF. So you really have to stand out. Like I feel like I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain.
Well, what do you think makes you stand out so much? If you
I
could
don't
pinpoint
know
something.
if I do or not, but I really just try to stay true to myself.
So humble.
I do.
You're so humble. Exactly.
I shoot scenes that I like. Like I won't do bondage type stuff.
Yeah.
And like I've been asked before, oh, will you shoot for kink and this and that? And I'm like, no, not really. It's not really my deal, and it's just not something that I want to do. And a lot of girls they charge more for interracial, but for me, I think it's kind of stupid because I mean, there's no point in that. Like just because the skin color is different, I'm going to charge more. Like I don't
Yeah.
really. It doesn't make sense to me. Plus, I enjoy shooting interracial porn myself more.
Hmm.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
I'm
So
like,
it's
why
why
should I
gonna
charge
change it?
more?
Exactly.
Yeah, so so a lot of things like that. I'm like, I don't care what I should do or how I should be or what I should charge. I'm going to be me and I'm going to shoot what I want to shoot and I'm going to shoot who I want to shoot with. Just like my first anal scene. I never really shot. I never really did anal before, and I did anal with my boyfriend at the time. He's a male performer too,
Hmm.
and we did it at home. I'm like, this is not that bad. I can shoot it on screen. And my thing was like, look, I'm gonna shoot my first anal with him. If you guys want to see us shoot it, cool. If you don't want it, you don't want it. And
Yeah.
there are big companies like, well, we'll shoot you for it, but not with him. And I'm like, well, then sorry, then
Yeah. It's not gonna
then
work.
that's not gonna work.
I
I don't
love
really
that.
care.
Yeah, I love that
Whatever
about you. I
me.
mean, you take the bull by the reins and like this is either it's this or it's nothing basically, which I admire a lot
Yeah.
about you. Because most people just they kind of give into it rather than,
Yeah,
I'm standing my ground. If you want this or you don't, it's a one-time offer type of deal. So
basically. So I always try to stay true to myself and what I want and what I believe in.
now, speaking of that, last thing for me, you mentioned before how you keep a close inner circle around you. Your
Hmm.
personality, from what I could tell when I first met you, and guys, I first met Nina at Sapphire. She was doing a feature dance there. I was very fortunate to get a dance from her, and the look on her face of how relieved she was when the dance was over, my God, was beyond. She was a lady. She's like, thank God. No, because I'll admit, I am not an attractive man. I get it. I admit that. All
No,
right.
you're cute.
Thank
It's
you.
not that. And if I had that look, honestly, it's because I was fucking tired. So my feature agent has us fly out from LAX, which is like for me 3 hours away at
Yeah.
6 in the morning. So at that point, I'd been up since 3 o'clock in the morning Los Angeles time.
I didn't take it personally.
Flown, been dancing all night.
I'm
I'm just
joking. I'm
tired.
joking. Please, I was just thankful you're dancing with me. I made sure I wore cologne. I make sure I didn't smell because that's the least I could
You
do for
smell
you.
very good. You smell
Thank you.
delicious.
Exactly. But the look on your face, it just made me laugh because I'm thinking, I knew because you looked like you were tired. Not to mean that you weren't looking
Tired.
nice, but I was like, oh my God, if I ever talked to you in person, that'd be a nice little Kickstarter. She was so elated that she wasn't dancing with the Trendsetter anymore. She was like, thank God, I can get off
Oh
this
my
guy.
God. Wow.
No, but in all honesty, I cracked myself up there for a second.
Oh my God.
No, when I spoke to you that day, which was amazing, had a great photo, and I posted it on Twitter. And thank you so much for retweeting it. I really appreciate it. It came out really nice, which isn't nice for me because I'm not very photogenic. At least I don't think I am. But what I told you was what I told you from the beginning of this interview, and I want to end it on this. Not really a question, more of just a statement to you, Nina. Is that for us, Adventures to the Trendsetter, myself, I just want to personally say something that if you don't hear it enough, I hope you do now or in the future. I want to say thank you to you. Just thank you because
Oh,
when I looked at your story and I looked at your life, here is a person, for example, I understand how you were feeling because you're a dental hygienist, doing it for 10 years, and I know the feeling of waking up and not wanting to go to work. Just like,
mm-hmm.
oh, I'm done. There's got to be something else. I know that feeling.
Right.
I deal with it on a day-to-day basis. I work 4 jobs.
Yeah,
I'm
God,
definitely hustling.
I
You
that.
know,
That's
I
crazy.
got bags under my eyes. I'm
Oh,
burning the midnight
pobrecito.
oil. Oh, thank you. I cover it with this facial hair so I don't look as tired. But with that, I just want to say thank you because you kind of showcased to me, even though I had never met you before until that day, of wow, look at this person taking a shot and a risk on themselves, betting on themselves basically. And that's what you basically
Yeah.
did. You moved on to Cam, moved on to something that was very uncomfortable, kind of scary at a point, and moved on and
Hmm.
look where you are now. So I just want to say
Right.
thank you because you kind of showcased to me that hard work does pay off. You're living
It,
proof of it. And I'm just so happy and really one of those people that every amount of success you get, I'm just so happy for you because it's well
oh,
deserved
thank you.
because you
Hard
earned it.
work and honestly being appreciative, appreciating every good thing that comes your way and not taking it for granted.
Yeah, you don't seem to be
Yeah.
the kind of person that does that. So that's why I said that more kudos to you and more thankfulness that you're that kind of person. Because it's very rare nowadays you find people like that. So that's why Nina and I had a little connection in terms of I think our personalities are very similar to that. We have appreciation for family and the people and the values that are very important to us. So I thank you for
Right.
that, Nina. And I must ask you the question.
Okay.
And this is huge for me. I'm joking. Have you ever had Peruvian food? Have you ever had gone to Peru?
No, I've never been to Peru. I love Peru. I love Peruvian food. I would love to go to Peru.
You must
I
go. And the
want
thing
to. I
is,
just don't have a reason, but if maybe I take a vacation or
well,
something.
the reason is the trendsetter told you to go. That's the reason, okay? Because I'm the trendsetter and I have Peruvian descent because I am Hispanic. I have Peruvian
Right.
descent. So I might not look like it. Some people say I look Arabic with the beard, but
You look
that's
Mexican.
I look Mexican.
Yeah, Mexican.
Really? A lot of people have told me. They either said Italian, either Cuban, Puerto Rican, or Filipino. But whatever.
Mm,
Since you're going to be at
Chino
Exotic,
Latino.
what?
Chino Latino.
Chino
You do a
Latino.
little chinito.
Por supuesto, I mean, alguien tan bella como tú, por supuesto voy a parecer chino para ti.
Oh, that's sexy.
Exactly, with my deep voice. And I will say that to you the next time I see you. I'll speak nothing but Spanish to you when I see you next time.
That's my weakness. Spanish guys are my weakness.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So if Spanish guy's your weakness, then Peruvian food will be your nail in the coffin. I am going to go to Exotica. I don't know if I'm gonna get
Okay.
a press pass, but I'm gonna go regardless and try my luck on it. I don't care what Exotica does. I'm gonna try it anyway because
I
they.
got your back on that. I'm like, no, no, no. I know he's pressed.
Thank you so much because you know why? I tried to apply for it. They rejected me and said
What?
I don't know why they rejected me, but I'm gonna try to reapply again and do it. But I'm going to bring you a Peruvian dish that I've prepared, and
Oh,
I want you to tell me what you think about it. It's called
I love that.
pollo a la brasa. So it's a roasted chicken, not a full
Hmm.
roasted chicken, with French fries and lettuce, and the featured drinks, which is called Inca Cola or Chicha. So one of the two, I'll give you the option for. I want to see how you like my cuisine.
Oh my God, I would totally love that. I love, you know what? I love trying all kinds of different ethnic foods. My favorite is Cuban food. I love Cuban food like so much.
Hmm.
So yeah,
But
I'll
once
be
you have
really
this,
excited.
it's gonna go number two, and Peruvian food is
I
gonna go
guess
number
Cuban,
one.
watch out Cuban food. Watch
Exactly.
out masas. Watch out medianoches.
Exactly. So Nina, thank you so much, guys. This is Nina Elle. If you guys want to catch her on Twitter, it's at Nina Elle XOXO. You guys can catch her on Instagram at Nina Cochina69. She is the MILF Performer of 2018 for the Urban X Awards. If you guys want to get her, stroker, pornstarStroker.com/Nina L. It is a porn star series by Elegant Angel, guys. Right now, her ass is on sale, but her pussy will be eventually down the road. Do you know what time down the road is going to come in, or?
I'm thinking next summer.
Next summer? Okay, awesome. Very good. And do you have a website? Because I've been checking out. Do you have an official website?
Oh no, my website. Don't go on it, guys. Like it's
Okay.
like a ghost website.
Okay,
I think it
awesome.
has a virus, so stay away from it. I need to get that situation figured out.
All right, and if you guys want to check out a lot of stuff she does personally, check out ManyVids, right? And
No, no, no.
no, OnlyFans,
OnlyFans
OnlyFans. Sorry, OnlyFans,
and Dreamlover.
and Dreamlover as well, guys. And so, Nia, thank you so much. Anything coming up? You'll be at Sapphires actually this coming
Yeah,
weekend, right?
this Saturday I'll be at Sapphire, and then blah, blah, blah.
And you're blah blah blah
I
all
will.
the way back home. Exactly. Nina, ladies
No,
and
I
gentlemen.
will be in New York for a couple days after hanging out. So,
Awesome. We got
um,
to get a slice of pizza. Because do you know there's a good slice of pizza in New York? Because I have not yet found one.
me neither. I'm really disillusioned. I love pizza, and I really thought I was gonna get good New York pizza, but it hasn't happened. I don't
Actually,
believe there's a thing.
I might have a surprise for you. If I do get a chance to see you on Saturday, I might even have that Peruvian cuisine for you right then and there. So we'll try that
Oh,
out.
I would love that.
I will try it out. Nina, thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you.